Imagine waking up in a world where no one has ever worn clothes. No shirts, no trousers, no jackets, not even shoes. For hundreds of thousands of years, humans walked completely uncovered. Yet one day, everything changed. One person made a decision that would transform human history forever. But why? Who was that person? And what exactly happened? Today, we're traveling back nearly 100,000 years to uncover the incredible story of the first human who wore clothes. The answer is far more surprising than you might think. Long before cities, before language became advanced, before farming, before writing, humans lived in forests, grasslands, and freezing mountains. Their bodies looked similar to ours, but they were much stronger. They hunted animals with simple stone tools. They slept inside caves. They survived dangerous predators every single day. Back then, humans didn't wear clothes because they didn't need them. Millions of years of evolution had covered their bodies with much more hair than modern humans have today. That hair protected them from cold nights, strong sunlight, and insect bites. Nature had already designed their first jacket, but evolution never stops. Over thousands of generations, humans slowly lost much of their body hair. Scientists believe this happened because less body hair helped people stay cooler while running long distances during hunting. Humans became some of the best endurance runners on Earth, but losing body hair created a brand new problem. Cold weather became dangerous. Freezing nights became deadly. Rain became unbearable. Strong winds could quickly lower body temperature. For the first time in history, humans needed something nature no longer provided: protection. At first, they probably didn't invent clothes. Instead, they simply used whatever they found: large leaves, tree bark, bundles of grass, animal fur left behind after predators finished eating. These weren't real clothes. They were temporary solutions. But one curious human noticed something extraordinary. An animal's skin stayed warm long after the animal had died. That single observation may have changed civilization forever. Imagine standing beside a fire after a successful hunt. The animal's gone, only its skin remains. One person picks it up and places it over their shoulders. Suddenly, the cold doesn't feel as painful anymore. The wind feels weaker. That simple moment may have been the birth of clothing. No one knows the name of the first person to do this. History never recorded it, but their idea changed humanity forever. At first, animal skins were simply wrapped around the body. There were no buttons, no zippers, no stitching. People probably held the skins together using vines, leather strips, or animal tendons. The clothes were heavy, rough, and uncomfortable. But they worked, and sometimes survival is all that matters. A bigger problem, as humans traveled farther north, temperatures became much colder. Ice covered huge parts of the Earth. This period is known as the Ice Age. Without proper clothing, many people simply couldn't survive. The cold could kill within hours. Children and elderly people were especially vulnerable. Those who found better ways to stay warm had a much greater chance of surviving, generation after generation. These skills were passed on. Eventually, making clothes became as important as making tools. At some point, early humans realized something important. Instead of wrapping an entire animal skin around their bodies, why not cut it into pieces? Using sharp stone tools, they carefully shaped the hides. Then they used animal bones as the world's first sewing needles. Tiny holes were made in the leather. Animal sinew was threaded through the holes. For the first time in history, humans stitched clothes together. This was one of the greatest inventions ever created. Not because it looked fashionable, but because it helped people stay alive. Clothing changed everything. Once humans could make warm clothing, something incredible happened. People began traveling into colder lands that had once been impossible to survive in. Snowy mountains, frozen forests, northern Europe, parts of Asia, eventually, almost every corner of the planet. Without clothing, humans might never have spread across the world. A simple piece of animal skin opened the door to new continents. It wasn't just clothing anymore. It became the key to civilization. More than warmth. After thousands of years, clothing began serving new purposes. Hunters wore camouflage made from leaves and fur. Some tribes decorated clothes with feathers. Others added shells, bones, or colorful stones. Clothing slowly became a way to show identity. It could tell others who you were, where you came from, even your status within the group. Something that began as survival slowly became culture, and culture would shape human history forever. A surprising scientific clue. Scientists discovered something fascinating. Tiny creatures called clothing lice live only inside clothing. By studying their DNA, researchers estimate that humans started wearing clothes regularly around 170,000 years ago. The clothes themselves disappeared long ago because leather and plants decay over time. But these tiny insects became living evidence that clothing already existed. Sometimes, the smallest creatures reveal the biggest secrets. The first fabrics ever made, how clothing led to civilization. Amazing facts most people have never heard. A powerful ending that boosts audience retention and encourages likes and subscriptions. For thousands of years, animal skins were enough. But humans are naturally curious. They are always looking for a better way. One day, someone noticed that certain plants had long, strong fibers. When twisted together, those fibers became string. String became rope. And rope led to an incredible discovery. What if these fibers could be woven together? Slowly, people learned to create simple cloth from plants like flax. Later, they used wool from sheep and eventually cotton. For the first time, humans didn't have to hunt an animal just to make clothing. This was another giant step in human history. Clothes changed more than our bodies. Clothing didn't just keep people warm. It changed the way humans lived. With warm clothes, families could survive harsh winters. Children lived longer. Communities grew larger. People explored places that had once been impossible to reach. They crossed snowy mountains, traveled through frozen forests. Eventually, humans spread across almost every continent on Earth. Without clothing, much of the world might never have been settled. The birth of fashion. As life became safer, something interesting happened. People stopped wearing clothes only for survival. They started wearing them to express themselves. Some tribes wore feathers. Others wore colorful beads. Some chiefs wore special animal skins to show leadership. For the first time, clothing became a language without words. It could tell people who you were, what your role was, where you came from. Even thousands of years ago, humans wanted to stand out. The oldest clothes ever found. Very little ancient clothing has survived because leather, leaves, and plants decay over time. But archaeologists have discovered pieces of woven fabric that are thousands of years old. They've also found sewing needles made from animal bones dating back tens of thousands of years. These discoveries prove that early humans were far more intelligent and creative than many people imagine. They weren't just surviving, they were inventing. One small idea, one huge change. Think about it. The first person to wear clothes probably had no idea that their simple idea would shape the future. They weren't trying to create fashion. They weren't trying to start a trend. They just wanted to survive another cold night. Yet that one decision changed everything. Today, billions of people wear clothes every single day without ever thinking about where the idea began. Sometimes, the greatest inventions in history begin with the simplest problems. Final thought. Imagine if that first human had never picked up an animal skin. Would we have explored icy mountains? Would we have reached the Arctic? Would civilization have spread across the planet the way it did? We'll never know. But one thing is certain. The first clothes weren't just something humans wore. They were one of the greatest survival tools ever created, and they helped turn early humans into the civilization we know today. If you enjoyed discovering the hidden story behind the first clothes ever worn, make sure to like the video, subscribe to Beyond Evolution, and turn on notifications so you never miss another journey into humanity's greatest mysteries. Because every question has a story, and every story changes the way we see the world. See you in the next video.